Good evening. Okay, race to the challenge of 6 minutes about Troika. Well, a couple of months ago, a journalist came to our studio and she wrote an article about our work, which is mainly technology infused or reflects on technology in a wider sense. And she mentioned in her article an object that she found in our studio, which is this coffee machine. A couple of months ago, the handle broke off, and instead of replacing it, we came up with our own little invention. And it does actually give a good idea of what inspires us and what we love, which are the quirks, which is retro technology, which are things that are unexpected, and something that you might find in a film like Brazil, where technology looks a little bit like junk, and where the hero fights a technocratic society. However, what is important to us, unlike in those kind of films where technology is displayed as something dark, we're looking for something that is more human, more genuine within technology. And that's why we love the French filmmaker Tati, who in his films showed a sort of very, very cold and fabricated technology, but hinting at the same time at the point that we should look back at what we already have and opening up or against disappearance of the real world. That's why we love those kind of things that inspire us, like the Nixie tubes or the Japanese emperor's sound ears that would make him hear his enemies. We love that you can actually see how it works. We love seeing the parts, how it functions. We love tangible technology and understanding the process behind things. That brings me to one of our projects, which some of you might have seen already, but it's a big sculpture in Terminal 5 in Heathrow. It's a large organic shape that is covered in something that's called flip dots, and they're covering the surface and animate the entire skin. And flip dots is something that you would find in the 70s or 80s in train stations or in airports, and they would display the time. And by audibly flipping from one side to another, they would create words and letters. So this was one of the inspirations, and we love the tactile feeling of this and the sound that reminds you of travel. To tell you a little bit about how we went about this, it was a very ambitious project. We did all the engineering, the design in-house, and worked with an arts fabricator in London called Mike Smith Studios, who had to race to the challenge of placing 5,000 meters of cable within the sculpture. There were a couple of other challenges that were really interesting to solve. One was, how do you tile something that is usually displayed on a two-dimensional board onto a three-dimensional shape? So we, after trying many different ways, looked at the Archimedean spiral of a pineapple and came up with a brilliant solution of actually being able to tile all the dots onto the sculpture. Another inspiration was old airplane building techniques and boat building techniques that gave us the way of designing the actual structure and filling the whole internal structure with 400 individually numbered strips that would allow us to create the sculpture. Same with the dots. It was really difficult to actually bring something from a two-dimensional plane to a three-dimensional sculpture where each dot would be addressable at any point at any time instead of one after another, like in the conventional flip dot boards. However, at Mike Smith Studios, people had a lot of fun putting those dots on there, and we really loved working with him. And we're a very, very small studio, and usually how we do work is work with mechanical engineers, with people like Mike Smith Studios, and it gives a lot to us as a multidisciplinary team to work with those kind of people. Another thing that we really enjoy, particularly about this one, is that this sculpture works on many different levels. It has a very simple entry point in being very sensorial just by the flip dots flipping from one side to another and the sound it creates, but also, oof, here I'm running into problems with 20 seconds, there you go. Anyways, okay, yeah, quickly. This is a very recent project, a digital zoetrope inspired by the old zoetropes that everybody might know. However, we dragged it into the 21st century by actually replacing the slots by a flashing light source within the drum And on the drum, you had printed vertical, horizontal, and diagonal lines or pattern that would, after the light would flash in different speeds, create different stories within the city and form words according to the speed the light would flash. This was originally created as a branding for 1.0 Film Festival. And the interesting bit was that we actually got the chance to create an installation rather than something conventional like posters or trailers. So it really shows that us as a multidisciplinary team, how we can actually explore completely different ways of approaching projects. Now, completely different, but all the same. We love viruses and things like this, errors, disruption, things that are unexpected, surprises, humor, and which brought us to this little thing, the Newton virus. And the Newton virus is a little device, comes on a USB stick, and if you insert it in any Macintosh laptop, you can surprise your colleagues with all the icons following the gravitational pull and falling down. It's quite a fun toy. You can also move it around, and as you move the computer around, the icons follow the gravity. So we really we love those kind of things of actually introducing a little bit of reality into something that's usually quite cold. Now, a couple of days ago, we actually released a download on our website, and are very proud to say that this morning the Apple guru itself, Steve Wozniak, downloaded 2 of the versions. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and yeah, ask me any questions later if you like.